Hey everyone, buckle up, because today we are diving into a topic that has captivated humanity for ages.
It's a big one.
It really is. We're talking about reincarnation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I know you might be thinking, oh no, not this again. But trust me, we are going way beyond just like, oh, what if I come back as a cat? We're talking about like the whole spectrum of beliefs, from like scientific theories
Right.
to ancient spiritual traditions, even some ideas that sound like they're straight out of sci-fi.
It's amazing how this one concept, reincarnation, pops up across cultures and throughout history.
It's true. And you know what? To help us make sense of all of this, we're actually going to be using this really cool tier system that we found in some of our research.
I like this approach.
Yeah. And just to be clear, like these tiers, it's not about like right or wrong or anything like that.
Yeah, not a hierarchy.
Exactly. It's more like a framework for understanding all these different perspectives.
Okay, I like that.
So we're going to start nice and grounded, down here in the realm of logic and things that just like make you think, right?
Okay.
So imagine this. What if you inherited not just your dad's, killer dance moves or whatever,
Right.
but also like his fear of spiders,
Oh.
or like your grandma's secret talent for baking the perfect pie?
Okay.
This is where we get into the idea of genetic memory.
I've heard about this.
It's like, what if we inherit more than just physical stuff from our ancestors?
Yeah.
Like, what if those like weird dreams you have,
Right.
or those like totally random skills you discover? What if that's like echoes of your ancestors, like living through you in a way?
I mean, have you ever felt this like unexplainable pull towards something, like a hobby, maybe? Or like you just had a knack for something you'd never even tried before?
Oh, 100%. And it's like, where did that come from?
It really makes you wonder if there's something more to this idea of inherited traits, but it's not as far-fetched as it might seem.
Really?
There might actually be some science to back it up.
Get out.
I know, right? So, you know how we used to think our genes were basically a fixed blueprint, like you get what you get?
Yeah.
Well, epigenetics is totally changing that. It's saying that things like your environment, so like the food you eat, stress, even the stuff you're exposed to in the environment, that can actually change how your genes express themselves.
So like our genes are listening to our life experiences.
In a way, yeah. And get this, those changes can be passed down to your kids and their kids.
No way. So like my junk food habit could affect my grandkids. That's both amazing and terrifying.
Right. It's like a whole new level of responsibility. But it also makes you think about those seemingly random traits we inherit. Maybe they're not so random after all.
So it's not reincarnation exactly, but more like echoes.
Yeah, I could say that.
Wow, that's wild. Okay, so it's not just about our biological family tree then,
Right. There's also this idea of like the mark we leave on the world.
Okay.
And this is called psychological continuity.
Okay.
And it's like, think about a teacher who totally changed your life.
I've got a few of those.
Or like how traditions and stories are passed down for generations. It's like carrying the essence of those who came before us.
It's like that saying, the people we love become a part of us, but it's like bigger than that, right?
Exactly. It's like this ripple effect.
Cool.
Yeah.
Our actions, our ideas, they all have this impact, even after we're gone.
So in a way, it's like a different kind of immortality.
Exactly.
Huh. Okay, so we've gone from inheriting fears to like leaving our mark on the world.
And that brings us to the more philosophical interpretations of reincarnation. We're talking about the frameworks people have developed to make sense of life and death and the possibility of something beyond.
Okay.
Like, have you ever wondered why life seems so unfair sometimes?
Oh, all the time.
Right. It's like some people just sail through life and others, it's like one obstacle after another.
It's true. Some people get all the luck.
Well, this is where karmic reincarnation comes in. It suggests that our actions in this life, good or bad, they create this ripple effect, not just in this life, but in future lives as well. So basically, what goes around comes around, but maybe not in this lifetime.
Exactly. Think of it like a cosmic balance sheet. Every action, every intention gets recorded.
Okay, so karma is keeping score.
You could say that. And those seemingly lucky people, maybe they racked up some serious good karma in a past life.
I like how that sounds.
Okay.
But let's say our actions could lead to us coming back as anything from a shimmering hummingbird to a wise old elephant.
Okay.
Would you even call that reincarnation at that point?
It's a question that has puzzled philosophers and spiritual seekers for a really long time.
Right.
This idea of reincarnation into non-human forms, it really highlights how interconnected all life is.
Okay.
It's a theme that actually resonates really strongly with modern ecological understanding.
Interesting.
Yeah, it makes us reconsider the boundaries of where consciousness exists. Could it flow through all living things?
Whoa. Okay. That definitely makes me look at that spider in the corner a little differently.
Maybe with a newfound appreciation.
Maybe. But before we fully embrace the mystical spider realm and all that,
Right.
let's bring it back down to earth for a sec.
Okay.
And talk about some of the more well-known interpretations of reincarnation, the ones that have been around for centuries. You know? We're talking about ancient spiritual systems.
Okay, sounds good.
So we've talked about inheriting traits and stuff, and even the impact we have on the world after we're gone.
Right, like echoes through time.
Exactly. But now let's dive into how some of the world's oldest spiritual traditions view this whole reincarnation thing.
Okay, sounds good.
So first up, we've got Hindu reincarnation and this idea of samsara. Ever heard of it?
Oh yeah, samsara. It's a pretty central concept in Hinduism.
Right. So for those of us who, didn't ace our ancient religions class, what is it exactly?
Well, think of it like this. Imagine life as this giant, ever-spinning wheel.
Yeah.
That's samsara, this continuous cycle of, birth, life, death, and then rebirth. It just keeps going.
Okay. So it's not just a one-time deal. You get one shot at this life and that's it.
Not in this system, no.
And where you land on this wheel, what your experience is in each lifetime, that's all determined by karma, right?
Exactly. Karma is the engine driving this whole cycle.
Okay, so no more cosmic cheat codes like we were kind of hoping for earlier.
Nope, karma's the boss here.
Got it. So basically, how we live our lives now determines what we come back as next time around.
In a nutshell, yeah. Every action, every intention, every choice you make, it all gets tallied up.
So if I'm constantly hitting the snooze button instead of getting up to meditate,
could affect your karmic balance, yeah.
Yikes. Okay, so it's like a cosmic point system. But it's not just about racking up good karma, right?
Yeah.
There's a bigger goal here, isn't there?
Absolutely. In Hindu reincarnation, the ultimate aim is to achieve moksha.
Moksha. Okay, and that is...
Imagine finally stepping off that constantly spinning wheel of samsara. You're free from the cycle of birth and death. It's about reaching a state of enlightenment, of complete liberation.
So ultimate peace. No more coming back to deal with traffic and taxes.
Exactly. You've transcended the cycle.
Okay, yeah, I can see why that's the goal.
It's a pretty powerful idea.
It is. But for now, let's shift gears a bit. We're moving from the Ferris wheels of samsara to something a little more, flowy. We're diving into Buddhist rebirth.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
So how is Buddhist rebirth different from the Hindu perspective?
Well, in the Buddhist tradition, it's less about a fixed soul being reborn and more about a constantly changing stream of consciousness.
Okay, so less I was a princess in my past life and more like a river, just kind of flowing.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that everything is in constant flux. There's no permanent self.
And this idea is called anatta, right? No permanent self.
You got it.
So it's not like our essence just jumps into a new body. It's more like this energy, this consciousness. It just keeps moving and changing.
And it's shaped by our karma, just like in Hinduism, right?
Yeah, right. Karma's still playing a role here. It's like the currents in that flowing river, kind of guiding where we go.
Exactly.
But in Buddhism, instead of striving for moksha, the ultimate goal is to reach nirvana, right?
Yes. It's about ending suffering, achieving a state of complete liberation from attachments and desires.
Okay, so both traditions recognize this idea of karma guiding our rebirth, but their end goals, they're different. Hinduism, it's about escaping the cycle completely with moksha. And Buddhism emphasizes ending suffering through achieving nirvana.
It's like two sides of the same coin, in a way.
Right, like two different paths, maybe leading to a similar destination. Fascinating stuff. Okay, so we've gone from inheriting grandma's baking skills to this whole cosmic game of karma points.
It's been quite the journey.
It really has. But now buckle up because we're about to enter the twilight zone of reincarnation.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're talking about the stuff that's impossible to prove, but so hard to just dismiss,
Right, like the personal experiences people have.
Exactly. So have you ever heard of past life regression therapy?
Yeah, it's where people, through hypnosis, they claim to access these vivid memories.
Like full-on flashbacks to a past life.
Oh, yeah. With details, emotions, the whole shebang.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. Some of that stuff sounds kind of hokey.
Oh, for sure. I mean, a lot of skeptics think it's just our imagination's running wild or the power of suggestion,
Yeah, like your therapist is secretly a hypnotist planting ideas in your head.
Right, exactly. But then again, there are these cases, right, where people recall incredibly specific details that they supposedly couldn't have known otherwise. It makes you wonder.
Right, what if that recurring dream I have about being chased by a woolly mammoth is more than just a weird dream.
Exactly. And there are therapists who specialize in this, who believe they're helping people heal present life trauma by addressing issues rooted in past lives.
Okay, that's wild. So it's not just about satisfying curiosity, it's like therapeutic.
For some people, yeah. It's about understanding the root cause of their fears, their anxieties, even their passions.
Okay, I'm not saying I'm booking a session, but I'm definitely not ruling it out. But let's say there's something to this whole past lives thing.
Okay.
Where do our souls hang out between gigs? Is there like a cosmic waiting room?
Well, that's where we get into the realm of astral reincarnation.
Okay, hit me with it.
So imagine this. A realm beyond the physical world where our souls go when we die.
So, like a cosmic layover lounge for souls.
Kind of. A place where we can reflect on our past lives, connect with other souls, maybe even choose our next adventure.
Okay, that sounds way better than the pearly gates. Sign me up. But how do we get there? Asking for a friend?
Well, accessing this astral plane, it's said to require deep meditation, spiritual practices, that kind of thing.
Okay, so no shortcuts.
Not that I know of.
Bummer.
Yeah.
But hey, we've come this far down the reincarnation rabbit hole.
Right.
We might as well go all in.
Let's do it.
We're talking about concepts like soul fragments and multi-life consciousness.
Okay, now we're getting into the really out there stuff.
Oh, yeah. Imagine if our souls could, like, split
Yeah.
and experience multiple lives, like, at the same time.
Okay, now that just breaks my brain a little bit.
Yeah, right. It's like, instead of a straight line, our soul is living out all these different possibilities in different timelines all at once.
So you're saying I could be a rock star in one life, a deep sea diver in another, and like a world-renowned chef in another, all happening simultaneously.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, some part of us is aware of these other versions of ourselves.
Okay, now my brain is officially fried.
Mine too. But hey, isn't that what makes this whole topic so fascinating?
Mhm.
It really makes you question everything you thought you knew about life, death, and what it means to be human.
It really does, and it opens up so many possibilities.
Right. And whether we subscribe to the more logical theories or we find ourselves drawn to the more mystical interpretations, the beauty of it is it's really up to each of us to decide what resonates.
Exactly, it's a deeply personal journey.
It really is.
Yeah.
And hey, at the end of the day, maybe it's not about knowing for sure, but about keeping an open mind and exploring these big questions with a sense of curiosity and wonder.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, by exploring these possibilities, we open ourselves up to a whole new way of experiencing this life, this precious and mysterious journey we're all on together. Until next time, everyone, keep those minds open and those imaginations fired up.